Hello, bellows! How's it going? How's it rolling? We're doing some Unity work tonight, and my headset died, and I've got a cheddar bean. Oh my gosh.
Hello, peasants.
Okay, now I'm back. Woo! Alright. Rain says hi to the cheese ball! The cheese ball says hi back. He is very cheesy. Look at this. Look at this cheese ball. He's like, I must murder shirts. This is my job. I will claw and dig holes into every single shirt so I can be a parakeet. He likes to be a parakeet. I don't know why. He is just an absolute parakeet. Also, yes, I do some research just to make sure I can get the right tags, because oh my gosh, I for the life of me cannot remember software and game development. I don't know, it's just something about that always just like, where is it? I have no idea. We gotta wait for this little creature Colby to make up his mind. Maybe. Alright. Are we golden? Hey, we've gold! Okay. We're gonna tune out the soundtrack and we're gonna start up the actual soundtrack for the stream. Here we go. I have been in love with this guy's music. Dedeco BGM DJ. He does like live DJs for this stuff. It's absolutely crazy. He loves his music there. Sadly, I cannot hear blurps, but I love it. Carl, that kills people. So, tonight we're gonna figure out this UI, because this UI is fugly. I mean, just look at it. I'm gonna be having a multiple screen here, but I'm going to primarily do things on the main screen here. We're gonna give this a shot here. This is how the UI looks. It is not very good. Now, I feel like there's two things that needs to happen. So for the first screen here, we're gonna do, you know what, we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna make this bigger, right? Then we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do another one down there. Okay, so my thought is what we could possibly do here. How do you even use? Can I not go further to the left? No, there's got to be a better. Oh no. Okay, all right, we just can't shift that over. Can we move this? No, it's forever in the way. All right, anyways, my idea, right? So we can still have camera controls up in this corner here, and I think we have. Do we want our UI to be right side or left side? Because we could do both, but I also kind of want a time of day slider at the bottom here. That would be really cool with like lights and stuff like that. And maybe like the top left can be the little like book icon so that you can get to your textures and stuff like that. Because I don't like the textures being on the screen at all. It looks fugly. I'm gonna use that word a lot. My UI skills is really, yeah. Rain was watching a documentary on Breaks today about the events of April 26, 1986. What? April 26, 1986. Am I gonna be sad? Oh, yeah. The Chernobyl disaster. Man, there's so much surrounding that. I want to say for everything now, it's a conspiracy. Alright, please. You knew you were gonna do this. Why are you doing this now? I swear to gosh, I love cats, but I also can't get any work done because they're constantly trying to get my attention. All right, so this will be main screen. What do we want for the next screen to be like? Also, that absolutely paused everything. So this will be our table of contents screen. How do we want to dress this up? I think a coloring book design would be really cool. Is there a glossary to coloring books? Sort of. Sort of. There is sort of one. It's like a guide to colors. But that's not necessarily... I guess there is like a glossary page, like, and we have the title there. We'll denote it by Zhu. And we'll, you know what? We'll probably go with bubbles. I like bubbles. This is my amazing mouse art, by the way. Then we'll have a straight thing there. And then that looks good. So we'll have glossary, and we'll have like a bubble, or... You know what? We'll stick with the bubble themes. I like the bubble themes. I think they'll be good. We'll probably have lists. We'll have item name and a small gist about it. I think that would be really cute. And the key thing here is we want this bubble to be the object colored in its current state. I think that'll be pretty nice. So it'll continue on to that page. When you select one specifically, and we also need an arrow over here to go forward a page. We could even do like the corner of the page as the button. That would be kind of cool. Then once you get to the actual object, I think having it be full screen might be the way to go. Yeah, so we have like the object here, and it can go left or right. Spin it essentially with the right click. You can have the base texture over here for the UVs, and the multiple pages over here. Actually, I like that quite a bit. Instead of that though, what we can do is cut this. Oh, we can actually just move it. Oh, that's sweet. Freaking paint, man. Then we can have controls down here with object name. We can even have the base UV here with the blurb. And then we can have the various textures over here. And I think because we have 5 so far, well, technically 4. 4 would be pretty nice for now. Color and bump should probably be the 2 biggest ones. And we can have little sliders like this to kind of denote certain things. That could work. That could work. All right, let's do it. Okay, so to clean this up, we're gonna do a couple of things here. First off, we want to keep most of our scripts here, right? Because scripts be nice, and I don't want to redo all of them. Okay. So controls list was appropriate. It's... Whoa, that's funny. Wow, I really messed up on that one. So camera controls, we're gonna have horizontal. Okay, cool beans. So we got spin, fly, and third-person cameras. I do believe we have some pretty nice icons to use for these, or so I would imagine. Probably with some of the packs that I have going on. Also, hopefully it's not too loud for you guys. I can lower down the volume a little bit. So, Rain, what have you been up to for the most part outside of the documentaries? Also, I gotta ask, was it an insider job? Were they doing the dirty in there? Honestly, that's the interesting thing, at least from what I've heard with nuclear energy, right? Most of it is actually caused by negligence and extreme human error, which is kind of sad. All right, so this icon would be pretty good for the spin camera. Can we actually grab the image? Voila, and spin. You know, let's go regular. Okay, that works. The container though, I kind of want a circle here. Oh, this is actually a circle. It is sliced though. What if we do a simple? Huzzah! Okay, okay, all right. What about making it? Well, you know what? Gray works. Okay. We will do these to the rest of these guys. I think let us do. Should we do a prefab? Part of me says yes. The other part says no. How is this running? It has no behaviors. No, nothing. So, what is the states like? You know, actually, I do believe we have the ability to do those. And I think we were checking various things out with buttons. So I actually don't think this button is technically working right now. Wait, they have to be working because I verified that they were working. Interesting. All right, well, this one can definitely be these arrows because it's like a pan camera. And I think that would be pretty good. Wait, it is a pan camera, right? One is a pseudo, one is a pan. Yeah, okay, so this is flyby camera. This one will be this guy here. Perfect. Blue. And then this guy, we need a good flyby arrow. What is a flyby camera look like? Symbolized within the mini symbols that we currently have. We could do eye. The all-seeing eye. Anything else better? No, I'm not quite seeing it. Actually, what we could do? Yeah, that I guess that works. This one could be a little person icon though. I feel like that little person icon would be pretty good. Where did it go? Little person user. Let's do a solid user. I feel like that makes the most sense. And then this one can be the arrow grid. Flyby. There we go. Boop. Perfect. All right, so we got those figured out. Can we play test really quick and just verify if this is actually working? I think it is. Okay, so the curvy is. That is not. That is not. Yeah, these buttons are borked. Also, they do. I like that. I like that quite a bit, actually. That feels nice. Okay, we need to off slice those guys. We'll keep them prefabbed, although I feel like I'm gonna regret it in the future. Simple. Cool beans. Circles now. Circles are superior than squares by far. How are we gonna hook these up? Also, do we want to hook these up right now? Probably not. We can also take down that spacing quite a bit. I do not think this top needs to be that much. Right about there, and we can put this down right about there. Beautiful. Let's do this again. Trim this over here. Beautiful. Do we want to say book menu or just menu? You know what? We'll do menu options, and we'll do 2 buttons here. Oh, geez, that heavily messed up with stuff, because that's not actually offset. Okay. So we want specifically menu, book pages, or what would be better than book pages? We'll leave it as book pages. Okay, what do we want for these icons? Book for sure, and maybe like a list. Definitely a book solid. For the actual thingamajigger there. We could probably do maybe a back arrow might be sufficient. Not quite sure what would scream menu. Maybe hamburger menu? You know what? Let's look for the hamburger. They've got to have a hamburger. Hamburger. No, they don't. Oh no. Who doesn't have a hamburger at this point? That's really funny, actually. We could probably make a hamburger menu pretty quickly. Yeah, no, that's really funny. Out of all the icons that they would have for pose, hamburger menu is not one of them. We'll signify it with a back arrow. Can we get a curved back arrow? Is that possible? They do have a hamburger menu. It's just called bars though. Oh man. Alright, I need to reposition stuff because right now the second screen is getting covered with chat and I would love to see chat, just to keep an eye on you guys. Alright, so we have those now. Let's go through and actually create some of the things that we need for it, and that's going to be with Doozy. Specifically, we want their dashboard. Yeah, okay. So in their dashboard, we have tons of different things, including categories. We got new category, in-game. You know, let's do in-game object view. Let's do a slash as well too, because I'm pretty sure that will be amazing. Let's do actually coloring page. And then for new button name, we will have menu. Oh, it didn't do it. Sads. Okay. We got menu, we got coloring book. We've got rotate, or cam slash rotate. Ugh, it's not gonna let me do it. Cam move. or cam fly, and cam TPS, or TP, third person. Cam TP. Alright, so that takes care of most of those guys. We need to have some of our streams though. Is it streams or is it... No, it would be streams, I believe. No, it would not be streams. I'm thinking of something totally different. I have not used the system fully yet, so it's going to be pretty nice to get in there and check it out a little bit. I started doing a little bit, and it was really nice so far. I've been really enjoying it. So as far as this goes, that's good. Views, we need a new category. We need to match whatever this button was category for UI view. Menu, coloring book. I think that's really it. Sliders. Game menu. Actually, we'll duplicate that and call this time of day. And we'll also do Albedo. Wait, no, normal strength. What else do we have? We got normal strength. We've got. Actually, you know what? I could probably do that with another plugin. That might be an easier way of doing this, actually. Yeah, I think let's do it. I don't see why not. So we won't actually need those. We will need time of day though. Okay, so okay, we will need time of day because that's a little bit more extreme. But for the actual sliders, for the shader stuff, we can easily not. All right, what else do we got? So we got most of that. We need a bottom window, so we can easily go through here. Do we want it to be on? Yeah, let's do vertical. Okay, got it. Why is this not? Because there's nothing in it. We need a slider. Do we have any sliders? Yes, we do. We also have scroll bars. I think slider just looks aesthetically cooler, to be honest. Did we screw it up though? Yes, we did. All right. We want this guy to be. Do we layout or layout? And we want preferred height width. Crank this up. Crank that up. I believe now if we do beautiful, crank it up some more. We want to be pretty decently sized. We will drop this off into UI. That's why I wasn't getting the full thing. There we go. Bottom spacing, let's crank that up by about, let's do 25. I feel like 25 bottom wise is a little bit better. We can make that even larger. Maybe make it a little bit. No, not too much. There we go. That looks to be about good. Okay. We need a scroll bar function too. Oh no. This will be fun. Okay. All right, so we got most of that. Let's go through and actually name it. So time of day slider. Let's pair it up appropriately. Time of day, perfect. We got book pages, coloring page, coloring book. We've got the main menu. We got third person. Flyby. And spin. Spin. Okay. Not too bad. I do like hot chocolate though. Hot chocolate was too good, guys. All right. So that's good. We could probably. I'm thinking we could block it. I mean, we're gonna. Still need a container of sorts anyways, a view to be precise, so let's do that. We'll stash these underneath the view. We'll do bottom sliders. Cool beans. We really don't need this guy involved. And for this one, we don't really care about the category too much because it's not going to be a thing, but we do need various views, especially for this guy. Oh, we actually already have the views. You know, let's just do main screen for the hex and giggles of it, because I feel like not naming it could lead to interesting things. We don't want any animations though for this, so we're just gonna go ahead and turn those off. Maybe. Yeah, okay, perfect. So no more animation on that. If I hit show, hide, nothing. Okay, perfect. The next one we need is the actual we'll call it main screen. The actual glossary here. So we need this guy coming up. Do I want to have multiple views is the question here. I think that would be the route to go. And then it would need to populate these views. So like this whole thing would be the first view, and then the second view would be procedural, and then the views after that would be these guys. I don't think I will need more than those, possibly. But having it procedurally created based on the level would be very helpful. So we need a level name, which I believe is the scene name. Am I correct on that? I'm like 90% sure it's the scene name. No, it is not. How are we doing this guy here? Hold on, let me verify. Did we even get to that point yet? I don't think we got to that point yet. Page select. I hate not having any beautiful editor stuff. It is cringe for me. Yeah, this is scriptless. Okay, so we need a way to fill this in with a scene. Do we have that scene? We do not. So we have this guy, but we have no actual scene data. Do we want to have a scene file, or do we want to have a scriptable object for that? if we have scene, we can't plug it into the coloring page scene. That would be not possible, but we could reference scenes. Am I right on that? You can actually, no, you can only template. Wait, prefab. Hold up. No, that actually just creates a new prefab. Are you kidding me? Dude, it just creates a null prefab. That's funny. That's really funny. Okay. The things you find out that you'll never use. All right, we're gonna create that data class here. Let me create script scene coloring page scene. Actually, that's a bit of an issue. Okay, so the issue that I'm thinking I'm running into, right? Coloring page here has everything set up so that the scene holder can spawn its things and run its thing. However, this requires to be here at start. So either I'm gonna have to do some delegate shenanigans to wait a frame to make sure that everything else can load appropriately, or we're gonna have some fun. I think additively loading scenes might be the way to go here, honestly. That means we have full control over how that scene is set up, looks with base lighting and everything else, because that would be what's very much needed. So yeah, we're gonna run additive scenes. In order to do that, we would need to have the scene show up in that file list, have that button linked to the scene name, and then the scene name would have the objects in there, and then bump it up. Can we actually grab the object that the scene is in? Hold up. Grab scene that object is in. Is it possible? Google AI. Use the following methods. Game object dot scene dot name. Wait, are you for reals? Directly access the scene struct from any game object. That is crazy, man. I never knew. I never knew. That means that we can go here, right? Inside of... Ooh, no. Scene controller. This is the one that we want, actually. So inside of here, we can just go... Oh, man, this is devious here. Public static string scene name. In Awake, we just grab game object dot scene dot name. Oh no, that's some serious jank right there. Okay, but this gets us this title right here. So now that we have that done, we can easily grab it and hook it up as needed, because we're gonna run with another UI holder essentially. All right, so now that we have that figured out, we're not gonna worry about doing the additive scene yet. We don't really care about that. We have the struct that we need to run it. We're just gonna roll with it. So we're gonna need a new view here. Okay, simple view. What do we got here? Also, I freaking love Fitbit, but sometimes it really does get to you at times. You really shouldn't wear it forever. I think I've had that thing on for like 2 days straight now. I'm addicted to watching stats. Okay, so we got coloring book. Inside of coloring book, we're gonna have a view. We're gonna do a view because we want it to be animatable, and then we're gonna have glossary front page. And the glossary front page is gonna have background. We are going to paint it gray, soft gray. All right. So I think possibly having a show be a grow would be really fun. Wait, can we not click presets? You know, zoom could actually work pretty well. Scale fade, yeah. Okay. And then we want zoom. How does hide look? Oh, dang. That's nice. That's so nice. Okay. All right. So we got the background. We got glossary front page. Do we really care about that, or do we want the? No, it's gonna be the full thing. So we're gonna want that. We're gonna need a vertical layout. We're gonna need a horizontal layout as well too. This guy will be the full shebang. We don't really care about content size fitting here. We just want it to be the full thing, which it is, which is good. Column layout. So this way here we can get the full set and we can split it evenly. That can be forward. Vertical layout. With the vertical layouts, we'll do right page, left page. Underneath this guy, we've got, what do we got? We've got a title card, and what was our paint here? So we got a title card and various horizontals. So left page, column, and then horizontal, and we will call this glossary elements. We'll create a prefab for that guy. Prefab just lets me duplicate it and adjust one to adjust them all, which is really, really nice. The layout elements is just there to help for specific rotations. It's kind of interesting because you wouldn't normally think it, but in media, if something is off, it kind of grits your teeth. And the layouts really help make sure nothing is necessarily off per se. Okay, we need content. Specifically components. We need some text. So let's go create some text for us today. All right, we're gonna put this above that guy. We're also not going to fit these guys. And we are going to do and I think if we force expand, there we go. Perfect, half and half, no problemo. For this one, we do want upper center. Yes. And we want the actual object to be on. I think we do. I think that would be really nice. So we're gonna add an image here. We're gonna shove it over there, and we're gonna do layout elements, preferred height, 500 by 500. Aha. Yes. This is looking nice. Very nice indeed. Maybe like a 50. Definitely like a 100. I feel like that might be too much. we'll maybe do 50 for now. And then under here, what we can do is bump up that border just a smidge underneath the extra settings to shrink it down just a smidge. There we go. Giving it a little bit of bump. All right. And let's say the scene was coloring page. So coloring page test forum ipsum. Ooh, that's not great. It decided to grow. It grew because this guy is overtaking the other box. We want to do that instead. Or would that work? No, definitely not. Why did that make that grow? Oh, it like grew, even from this image here. And it has no space. Why? Like that. It's gotta be because of this guy. Yeah. So if we don't use that, that's even worse. That's even worse. How are we going to do that? Can we do that? There's nothing on this one, so it's specifically with this one, and I'm guessing it's with this one because why wouldn't it? We don't want it to control size, do we? No, we don't. Aha. And where is this one? Middle center. What about middle left? Yes. I see. But that still makes it like so. Because it's using the child layout and width, which it should not be doing. Maybe not? No? No, it's totally, You know, I could just, for the sake of doing it simply, have these be controlled, right? I should be able to still pull and tug that. No. Interesting, but... Oh, duh. Okay. Alright. Can we now do that? Sweet. What's half of 1080? You know what's sad? When you haven't done math in so long and you're a programmer. Oh no. And my computer will not open up the calculator. Quick chat, half of 1080. That's gonna be 990, isn't it? No, 580, isn't it? Yes. Yes, it is. So that doesn't make any sense. What is this canvas size? What are you rolling with? What is the screen width? 1920. That's why. 1920 by half is going to be somewhere along the 960. That's it. Okay. So this should be 960 by 1080. And then this will be 960 by 10. Okay. We forced it. That's okay. That's good. This image might be a little bit too big though. Let's maybe do like 350. Yeah, that looks better. All right, fun one. We got this guy now. We do need to fix this guy though. This guy probably shouldn't go further off to the right. Let's just be honest here. But if I... Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I figured it would do. All right. So we want this to have a canvas layout. We want it to be preferred width of much less. Maybe like so. That would be kind of cool. Okay. We'll do lorem ipsum. That works pretty well now. Glossary element though, the fun one. We're gonna need an image to the left and some more text. So I think image to the left and brief description would go there. We do need a title for it. So title and description. Would it be cool to have the date that it was updated? That might be kind of fun. That could be a part of the description down here for a date line. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so we need... This is horizontal, right? We're gonna put down image. And then we're gonna do a... Boop, boop, boop. Vertical. And then we're gonna do some text. We're just gonna copy this text. All right. We do not want that topper bit. We might want a small bottom bit to this. Maybe like a 20. There we go. That looks kind of nice. The image though, layout, we probably want this to be about 100. Do we want the bubble to be middle? Yeah, I mean that would look best. Actually, top? No, bottom. Bottom or top? Or say screw it and make the image bigger. Bigger image. Yes. We technically don't necessarily want that though. What we want is a image within an image because that's going to allow us to do cool things. So what I mean by that is, for example, if I grab this and we pick a image, let's say this guy, right? Cool. Next we're gonna use this and we're gonna do circle. What do we got? 1024? That's way too... Yeah, whatever. So 1024 circle. We're gonna mask it. There we go. Now we got a circle mask for our little guy. And what's awesome is that this should never be a full opaque thing. What I mean by that is it will never be fully the circle. So we can easily do things with that inside of a circle, like a little house or something like that. That'll be fun. So we got that. We've got Ipsum title. These need to go to the left side. Maybe? Let's do bottom. Wait, no, let's make this one to the top. Did that actually do anything? Oh, I don't think that's actually doing anything. That's because this one doesn't have a bottom. 10, 5, 5, 25. 25 looks to be nice. The horizontal spacing needs to be out a little ways. We want it to be from middle. left. And we want this to be stacked like so. Wait, what? Your pivot point is like that, my friend. Why are you acting like it's not? It's not really that much of an issue. If I type more into there, that's good. Just a common Ipsum element. Woo. And then dates, yada yada. So we'll do date, description, title, text box, box of text, info. That works. Image BG, image item. We want this to be a glossary element UI. Beautiful. All right, glossary element UI. This is going to hold. We're gonna want a couple of things here. So first off, we're gonna want to hold the public text mesh pro GUI title. We're gonna fix that by importing it. Title. We got description. We got dates. We've got the image. Item. Image. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Can we not import the type? Okay. Beautiful. All right. So with that said, we've got the base bumper for that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy. We need a couple of things. So public. We'll be good boys here. We'll do serialize field. Okay, beautiful. And then we will do we want that? Yes, we do. So int page index. Okay, so we got the index. We can hold that. Public void load element. And we want this to be a object definer that it's giving us. Cool. So we're passing an object definer which has all the information that we need. So definer dot name. Wait, that doesn't seem too right. What are you doing here? So we got data. Oh, we need object data. That's what's going on. Data. I keep messing up my camel case, which is really gonna ruin me here soon. Object name. All right, so I'm so title equals the object name. Description equals data dots. You know, we'll add in a string description here. So public string object description. And we will do a string text. Text area.
It's all coming together.
Wait, area? None of that seems quite right. Let me double check that. It is all coming together. Okay. Where is my Odin? Odin Inspector Attribute Overview. Text area. This is exactly what I'm looking for, and it's because it does not necessarily have it. So what we're looking for is a multi-line property. We can do multi-line 2 to 3, I think, honestly. We don't need anything super crazy. Yeah, because we want to limit ourselves anyways. So that works out pretty well. Data updated. That's why, because it's a delegate there. Okay. We also need to have a date and time. Public date time. Last touched. Perfect. We got all of our elements now. So. Oh, that's why, because this needs to be .text. So description will equal data dot description. We need .text. And the date dot text equals data dot time last touch dot let's do long. Let's see where that gets us. Okay. Page index. We need to find out where it is at. So preferably when it hits it, it will create the page in the list and then load up the element for the glossary. Do we want to just leave the page in memory? Realistically, it's not gonna hurt anything. It's not. All right, let's do that. Page index, and then page index equals to page index. So this way here, public void. You know what? We will rename this to initialize element. We'll name this to load page. And then we will just reference the glossary manager there and just spit up a page to load. Do we actually need that though? We don't. We don't, because we can shove it through a delegate. Lambda style. The dirtiest coding you can get. Okay, all right. So we'll just rename this to load element. I like load element. It sounds fancy. Okay. So that's all said and done. Let's splice in what we got. And that means that we've got effectively this whole thing done, which is good. And we can reset it, or we can forcibly set it. I think let's force set it so that this way here it knows how many to do per page. We won't force set it. I mean, we could. But is it really gonna get us too much? So this is where it starts to get kind of flaky, right? Because we don't have control child size, we're gonna do layout element. No, content size fitter. It's gonna scream at us because the header is a thingamabobber, and we're gonna do control height. Oh. No. Yes. Okay. Okay. Can we update that across and then duplicate? No, it's still gonna do that. Why though? Is it because of the... I mean... It's not growing, which is the issue, because it should be going down. It is definitely not going down. So it's not growing. It is not growing, which is kind of funny. And we just messed up that again. Why is it not growing is a bigger question. Its thing is correct, but it's trying to like force expand everything. Matt, oh my gosh, welcome, man. How is it going? How's it rolling? Hopefully the music isn't too loud for you. We're just kind of jamming out, doing some coloring book setup. We're trying to get the UI in. So far we've got this for the main screen, which we've completed. We're getting in the glossary pages now, and then we gotta create the main pages, which we might not get to tonight, which kind of sucks, but we'll get something rolling here. We're trying to figure out why this isn't necessarily appropriately adjusting itself, is the right way to put it. So like it is use child scale. Is that it? No, that made it honestly way more murkier. I think I'm just gonna have to take the bullet and not care. We'll do that option. How much do we have on this? 50 for spacing. We'll copy it, we'll replicate it, we'll go top center. Okay, so why is it... Oh. But it's still doing that. Okay. That helps out a little bit there, at least. All right, so in terms of top, maybe having about 50 is probably the route to go, right? Bottom is about 50 as well, too. I don't like the fact that these are offset, though. How can we make it not offset? Is there a good way? There's just so much space. Okay, we'll do that. We'll have 8 per page. That sounds about right. All right, that works. No. I'm starting to think here. What we could do is create this as a parent vertical layout. Huh? Yep. Upper center. Perfect. Hell card. Why is it so... Oh my word. Okay. There we go. Like, why is it so... iffy. Okay, and then bottom part, we just spread this out to be more like so. And then up here, we spread this down to be so. That's a little bit better. Last day of freedom! No, man. I know the feel. I can't wait for my vacation. It's gonna be so fun down there. I'm gonna have a blast. We need to go further down. Minus 70. Okay. We can figure out that offset later on. It's not super important. Okay. Glossary front page. So we're gonna do coloring book menu. Cool beans. We're gonna fill this sucker out. So we've got public. This is how programming goes. We've got public. Wait a second. How do I fill this in? We need something. We need to create, to craft. All right. So we need a we need a coloring page. All right. So not a behavior coloring book page. We'll create a base class for this. So this will be base abstract class coloring book page. Cool beans. And what do we need in here? Well, we need public object data. Page data. We need public int page index. We're always going to need a title card. We're always going to need a... Ooh, do we always need a title card though? We don't. We do not. For the index pages, we don't care necessarily for a title card. We just care about that for the glossary. Actually, yeah, we will. Let's just roll with it. Image, item image. Man, it really does not like Unity UI. We could also be good and serialize these guys as well. That's not too much of an issue because we will have a setter here. Public void load coloring page. And we will have a public void initialize page. We could just do page. There's no need for that. Okay, so initialize page, what do we need? Well, we need the... Oh, we can actually steal. Okay, alright. Let's snip. Zoom. And the image. This one we don't care about the page index, do we? Because the glossary item is made with the page. So if they're together, we don't care. We don't care about the page index. The page index does not matter. Dot sprite equals item image or data dot sprite. textures dot we need something here for the image. That's okay. Okay, so we got the title. There's not anything else we definitely need to do for that yet, but we do definitely need to have this in virtual, and we need this one to be virtual as well too, so we can do some override shenanigans for load page. For load page though, we'll probably just do, oh, you know what? Objects. UI view, is it? I think it's UI view. Yeah, UI view, view. And then for this, we will do UI view, view, view equals view, and then view dot show. Or do we need to hide other views? Yes. So main menu, public UI view, curve view. We'll do this as static. And then what we can do is down here, go coloring book menu dot curve view dot hide, and then coloring book menu dot curve view equals view, and coloring book dot curve view dot show. Oh no. Positive thing is, in just 2 7-hour shifts before my next day off, nice, 2 more before the next one. It is pretty good balance. I always hate it when I have to go back to work and I'm like, oh man, there's like a 5-day week ahead of me. You know what's even better? I remember working at Target, right? And essentially what we had going on is that night shift would do these 12-hour shifts. That was really fun because I only had to work 4 days. They screwed that up so badly, man. From only having to work 4 days, I then had to work a total of 13 days in a row because they decided that the weekend didn't matter. And I didn't have a day off beforehand, so I worked 13 days in a row without a single day off, man. Night shift style. It was awful. I did not like that weekend because essentially during the time, well, I still do live with my girlfriend, and what ended up happening is that she would have to go to bed really freaking early on the weekends, and you don't want to go to bed really freaking early on the weekends. Who wants to do that? I wouldn't even want to do that. Anyways, we got load page now. That's good. So this brings up the new page and hides the old page, so we don't really have to worry about that. Initializing the page, there's not really too much there. It can kind of handle itself to a point. The issue I can see now is that initializing might take up quite a bit, so we might want to do something where it can dynamically initialize versus initializing it all on the button press, because that seems kind of gross. We could probably spawn in the pages but not load all of the data from the pages yet. That could work. Okay, so we've got coloring book. Coloring book has the current page that you're on. It can also contain, what else can it contain? Public static UI view list. Wow. Total pages. Okay, so that's going to contain all the pages within the whole entire book page for the set. Public void start. It's going to wipe it for cleanliness and sanitization. All right, so whenever it hits the scene, it's going to start, which clears out all the total pages. It's going to then grab curve view as not that page, actually. We're going to... We have to wait. Did it automatically do it? Come on, boyo. There we go. Yield return null. Wait for object data to correct itself. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is for each scene, collection scene controller dot or for each object definer in scene controller dot object data in scene. Oh. We're going to create the list view. So, all right, we're going to have public UI view or game object. Glossary, front page, public game objects, glossary page, public game object, coloring page. Okay. So for data class, for each data, we're going to we're going to do an index because I really just like to deal with data and I hate doing it any other way. Switch, index, case 1, 0 actually, break, case 1, break, you know, actually, we don't need that. I just realized we don't need that. We could just do index plus plus. Do we even need index? We don't. Oh, devious. All right, we don't even need index. What am I doing? First off, we're going to instantiate. Do we need to instantiate? I don't think we do because we'll always have a front page. The issue is if we have multiple pages of that. Okay, so if do we want to feature code our code? We could force it to you know, let's just do that. Let's just do it. Our laziness will be our downfall at this point. Private void, create glossary pages. For int I equals 0, I is less than or equal to scene controller dot object data in scene and percanded by 8. Wait, hold up. We need to minus this by 6. So minus 6 and percanded by 8. I plus plus. I'm pretty sure I did that incorrectly. Hold on. How do we... I haven't done ampersand in freaking forever. C sharp. Dividend of number. Arithmetic. Okay. None of these are... Oh, here we go. Here we go. Wait, that should be right. Number divided by thing is less than... Why is this having an issue? Oh, because of that. Dot count. Alright, so we're taking the amount of data, minusing it by 6, ampersanding that by 8, and making sure that I is less than or greater than to that. And every time it can continue, it will, and it will create a new glossary. Instantiate glossary page. Dots. Okay, and then we want as coloring book page. Can we just do dot? No. Page equals boop is as. Why are you having an issue with that? Yeah. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. Alright, so total pages dot add page, and then... Oh. Dot. You? No. Okay. We might just end up doing this as public. So UI view, just to make sure that we can appropriately do it. We don't necessarily need to feed it a view because it will always have the view, but we do need to feed it that because it won't always have the view, and then we just do this to view. Actually, we will do...
Lizard, 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 lizard.
There we go. That makes a little bit more sense there. And then we'll just feed it page. I'm pretty sure we will have to have view up and running. But okay, so that's creating the pages. We can do less than count, or I is less than, you know what, and just to be safe here, so we're gonna create all the glossary pages for this guy, and that will be under not a game object per se, but we have coloring book page. Now we can create the coloring book glossary. I figured this would go a lot faster. I apologize, guys. I hope you're having fun with my ramblings, though, at the very least. Glossary front page. You go script. Oh, hydration. I'm sorry. Lizard. This is what happens when I program and do art, though. I will legit just forget that I exist and that I have other things going on, and I'll be like, oh, wait, what time is it? All right. So we have glossary elements. Glossary elements is just literally glossary element UI. Okay. So public, actually serialized field, private, glossary element UI, glossary elements, public void initialize page, and we want data. Yeah. Actually, we want a set of object datas. Is there an easy way to splice out lists? Hold on. Yep, Siri. Take. Okay. All right. Well, we will just do that then. Object data. Wait, do we need that? Yeah, we do. Okay, object data. Data set. How do we make sure to not crash out when it can't hit a number though? It simply returns all available items without throwing an error. Oh, nice! That's awesome! Okay, that's sweet. For each object data in data sets, we're gonna then do a int index. We're going to do glossary elements dot index dot kind of help dot initial load data, load element data. Perfect. So that's gonna coincide with that, and that is good for that. And we need coloring book page. Beautiful. Actually, we could just override that, please. Override void. Oh. That should be fine. It's not going to be an issue. I'm always going to feed it a data set anyways. And that'll be good. So then for this guy to actually set it up, all I have to do is grab the you know what, we'll do game object for that one and that one, but we'll do, well, no, we need game object for all of them, to be honest. It's always going to have a front page. This one should definitely be color page. Okay, glossary front page. This one can actually be pushed up to here since it's part of the data set anyways, and the total pages. We'll total pages dot add glossary front page anyways to it, and then what we can do is glossary front page dot load page dot initialize page, and then we will grab this guy, and with some magicry, I believe it's take, and we just want the per 6. Dot to array, right? Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking was going to happen. So we can do public virtual void initialize page data. Okay, and we can just grab that and do that really quickly. There's got to be a master one for the scene, right? We already kind of clarified that. Where are we putting? Well, no, because scene controller only has the scene name in it. How are we gonna load the scene image? You know, I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Seems right. We'll just do that. And then we will do this. Scene controller dot scene name, and then item image dot sprite equals scene controller dot scene sprite. That should give us the sprite image at the top of the glossary and the text that's right below it for the scene name. And that gives us this class, so now we can go back here and feed it in to do that, which is very nice. Do we actually need that? Does this do a little? I think it does it, or is it an array? I don't think it's neither. Okay. All right. And then what we can do here is page dot initialize page. We're gonna do a quick check here. If item image does not equal null, or sorry, if it equals null, then just return. This way here, easy return out. We don't have to worry about nulls, and we don't have to worry about adjusting it as well. And we could just feed this into that. This guy is going to be fun though. So I is 0, which automatically makes it part of 6. So we'll make it 1 just to be safe. What was the other method other than take? Get range. What? Wait, what? You can use the range operator? No way. Okay, hold up. Get range. No, throws exception. Oh, okay. Take gets or handles less than 6 items. No, does not. That's the question here. How much is this guy? I don't want to think about it. All right, let's continue on. All right, so we're at the start of this. We've yielded. We've created the glossary front page. We've added to it. We can create glossary pages just for that dealio. We gotta do it after this null though, because that's where it makes the most sense. And then after that, we need to create additional pages for them all, which is going to be that. How does the glossary button know to do that? So initializing the page, we'll do that. Yep. Glossary front page though, load element with the data. We need an index. We definitely do need an index. Do we? We do. We definitely do. This should probably be a for loop though. Nah, we can do without the for loop. I'm pretty sure, at least. Because what we can do, at the very least, is do if dataset dot count is less than 6. No, actually this should be a for loop. It totally should be a for loop, because what we can do is instead do glossary.length of elements, and then that, but if dataset dot count is less, if index is less than, no, if it equals or is greater to, because 0 length is going to be +1, greater than or equal to, then we need to exit out early, which is going to look something like glossary elements dot index dot game object dot set active is false. Yeah, okay, and then return. Otherwise, it's just going to run through it and set it up as needed. So we don't need this guy anymore. Okay, perfect. Why is this still... Okay, cool. That just says that we get whatever we put over in the other section, and that should be all good to go. Let's see. So we created glossary pages. We've initialized them. For every object data in the scene, we need to create a coloring page. And we need a coloring book page from instantiate coloring page dot and we can do I want to do this before we create glossary pages. Yeah, because then we can add is there a comma for this? No, there's not. I'll have to look into that. Wait, hold up. Can we actually splice that in? I'm pretty sure we can. C# add to this position. Yeah, insert, that's what I'm looking for. Insert page at index. So I in this one will be insert no, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. You can be sure that this guy will be for that guy. What we do need though for the glossary stuff, glossary elements, is to have a button for it. Button And then we will have not only object data, also action, button action. And then we will have the button dot on click event dot add listener button action. What? Why are you upsetty spaghettis? Is it Unity action? Interesting. Interesting. Delegate. Oh, okay. All right. I dig it. I could dig that. That's not bad. All right. So then with these guys, also this is 100% copyright music. What am I doing? 100% copyright music. Oh, I can kiss the audio for this one goodbye. The program I'm currently using is going to be Writer with Unity. So this is what the engine looks like for the coloring book. This one is just how I scripted. There's lots of different ones, but I just enjoy Writer because of its autofill and a lot of its other small bits and pieces here and there. It's a really nice one. People tend to use Visual Studio though for a lot of stuff. Coloring book page instantiates dot get component coloring book page. Coloring book page. Ooh. The only thing I don't like is doing get components with these types and these brackets because it always does the parentheses around it. I'm guessing this is the old way of doing it, and inside of it is the new way of doing it, but I have no idea what the new way of doing it is. Okay, so we got instantiate. What was the other thing? Glossy front here. Yeah. So we need a way to get to those pages. So private void jump to page int index, and then we will do total pages index dot load page. Yeah. Okay, and then for this guy we just do something about this feels really off. I don't know what. When you oh, that's why, because this is needs to be static. Jump to page, and we will do this by index. But that's gonna scream at us because it does not like it. So we'll do a lambda, and voila, the messiest programming you can ever have. Writer, it's actually spelled writer with an R. Have had to come so creative with product names nowadays. Yeah, they really do. It's RD. It is paid for. So I can actually get you that. They have a ton of products though, which is interesting. They have too many products now. And it's all also powered by AI now, which is gross. Oh man, I hate AIs so much. I really do. It's just not a fun program. Uh, it has so many issues all around. Okay, so we got index to index. That should be fine. Yeah, okay. Sad part is we won't actually be able to see our fruits of the labor because we don't have any of the beta or data classes set up. So it's all theory, but for the most part, it should work fine, which is good. So actually creating the pages for those guys, we're going to do coloring book page. For creating the page, we got to do page.initialize with the data, and that should be golden. Okay. Public static void next page. Public static void previous page. And then for this, we just want total pages index plus plus, or no, if we now have UI view as our current page, this would make most sense being a page, and then we can jump back over here and do current page dot UI view dot view. Oh, it's just view. Okay. And current page equals this. Okay, that works better. Then what we can do here is total pages dot index of current page plus plus. No. Okay. We'll do it cement fold. So int index equals blah if index is greater than or equal to total pages dot length count is going to then say no. Return. I don't think flipping back to the front of the book works, because you can't physically do that. So then total pages index dot load page. Perfect. This is actually needing to go up here. Can we actually plus plus that? No, of course not. Okay. And then this is just backwards. So -1 is less than or equal to 0 return. And then load page. Signing up for coding lessons through Coursera. Oh, nice. Yeah. Honestly, if you want to get into programming, I would recommend trying out something small. Is there any particular section you're looking forward to? Programming is such a giant pool at this point. You could do like data classes, you could do system programming, you could do what are they called? I'm not gonna get the name right, but essentially like shortcut scripts and pieces to like make your workload go faster and stuff like that. That would mostly be in like Python or Java if you're doing art and stuff. But then there's also like game programming, website programming. I say there is all of this stuff, right? But if you really take the time to learn one language, you kind of know them all. You won't know every single trick. Like, this is C# right here. Java sickens me. So, Java and C#, and I will get a lot of hate if anybody is watching that knows the difference between the two, but I will say they are pretty much the same. The only difference is Java is way looser than C#. Java, instead of saying that this is an integer which holds a number, you just say var and then you give it whatever value you want. So it's like var index equals 0, and there you go, there's your integer. And I hate that to death. I love to classify what I got first and then make it into a thing. This right here though is really gross. It's not great. I should probably make it into one thing and then just do the thing, but yeah. actually okay, here we'll do it correctly. Next page, and then we'll want that, and then if next page, index plus else, index minus, and then index is that, else if index is that. And there you go. That would be a better way of doing it. Just this way here, we don't have two kind of pointless variables down there. And we're just saying next page, which is really nice. All right, let's see.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then
I
took an
started
arrow
out
in
with the
knee.
basics in high school from scratch. Nice. And dabbled it with it in college, but never actually finished any particular project. Use coding for like web page design. Nice. Honestly, this is gonna sound silly. Do not go to school for it. Don't do it. The reason why I say so is because AI has made web programming almost null. And also web programming is not, it's not like normal programming, I guess is what I would say, right? So like what I'm kind of getting at is if you really learn C#, you can definitely go to other programs and stuff like that. Web programming is essentially a lot of various structs and classes nailed down. And that's virtually all it is, which is kind of nice. I wish I could easily bring it up on Google Chrome, but I forget the hotkeys for that. But essentially it's not too terribly difficult akin to like what I would say more of like a generalized programming is, where you're messing with like system functions, you're creating stuff and doing whatnot. With web, you're kind of just interfacing with what it currently has and telling it to do various things, which does take skill, but there's so many block to blocks now, it makes that skill kind of moot, which is sad. I miss the old days where web programmers were really like the forefront heroes. At least that's what I've been kind of seeing. I don't know if it's 100%, but I feel like web programming is kind of going downhill for more like block to block base. And there, okay, hold on. Three.js, that's what I would probably recommend. I can't say too much on it, but it's probably going to be the next big thing in web. In that you actually do have to know a lot of programming to run with, and you can't just block to block it out. Three.js, let me bring up, is 3D web design. By that, it is actually letting you play a pseudo WebGL game in editor as a website with its own like shaders and real-time rendering and everything else. Like as I move my mouse, you can actually see it. This is crazy. I can actually like move and interact with this, and this is actually 3D. What is it? Oh, turbulence noise. Fun. What does gallery do? Oh, so it's like a bunch of various shaders. It does not load though, which is funny. I wish I could actually see what it's doing more so. But this has been kicking off, and there's a lot of jobs coming from it, I can say. It's definitely going to be one of the newer, cooler things by far. Like, there's just so... Like, look at this. This is crazy. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And my internet hates me right now. I don't even know if I am still streaming or not. I think I crashed. I crashed. I did it, Bon Jovi. I'm back. My computer did not like that. But this stuff, Three.js, be really good to learn, I would say. It's a part of JavaScript as well too, which can lend to other programs pretty easily as well. And I think Java right now is a pretty nice, at least, language to learn for better income, at least. Not saying that you'd want to do it for income, but if you want to get some kickback, Java's probably the way to go. C++ definitely not so much. And I would say HTML maybe as a hobby, but definitely not as a full-time type deal. But Three.js, probably an easy full-timer. Anyways, jumping back to this guy, I got like 10 more minutes. What can I do in those 10 minutes really quickly to do this? We've got create glossary pages for initializing the pages with the data. And we are then not doing anything with it. Because we don't have to. The buttons are on the glossary page. This page does not really have anything to deal with. We do need buttons later, but that's not the case. That should be good. Okay, and that's not going to mess up with the layout, right? Yeah. Okay. So let us lap things together. So glossary front page. I'm gonna lock it really quick, and then my view is gonna be this guy, page data. We don't really know that yet. I can actually private that and not have that up and running, because that does not need to be like that. We technically don't need to see it. Yeah, I agree too. It doesn't entirely align with programming expectations today. It's been 15, 16 years. Yeah. And the industry is just so fast-paced now, it's kind of ridiculous. But I mean, there's merits to it as well too, right? Even if you're in like your 40s or 50s, you know, if you sit down and really start to crack away at programming and doing a self-teach, because I will say I am almost 90% self-taught at this point. I've been doing programming for about 10 years now. Almost going on to the 11th year, actually. And it's been a journey, but because I self-taught myself this really complex and albeit stupid thing at times, I've taken those skill sets I've learned to sit down and really focus on learning it and doing other things as well too, like VFX, and a lot of other game stuff. Granted, I did go to art school, so I had some VFX classes in there and stuff like that, but those definitely pale in comparison to what we got now. And I wasn't necessarily VFX, I was more so texturing, modeling, all that good stuff, which in its boat is also kind of crazy as well too. Top card, we got the title, we've got the image, and that should be good. If we hit play, it's gonna break. 100% it's gonna break. Does it load is the question. Okay. Oh, it did. It did have an error here though. Total pages cleared because it cannot instantiate the list. Let's do that. Okay, there we go. Now we should be able to work with it. And understanding the code base and stuff like that, the interesting thing is, right, I've been able to work with other programs. I can't say for much. I can't get into the details, sadly. But I will also say this, though. After working with so many programmers throughout my 10 years, right, some of them I'm like, holy fuck, you're amazing. And now I look back and I'm like, I'm doing those amazing things now, which is crazy. But also at the same time, I have such a weird brain set, especially because of how I learned programming and how I kind of pushed through it. I got to get really intimate with like error codes, what's going on with things, why is something not working, and chisel away at it in so many different ways. And then because of the projects I picked up and worked with and did, a lot of it helps me understand like the processes behind the engine. I would say that's where I really got into Unity, is understanding like what exactly is a draw call, what is this doing, how does this impact functionality, how do I get a scene to load immediately, all that fun and crazy stuff. I'm trying to understand. So we do definitely need these guys. I did not get these guys over. What is this music? What happened? Oh, here we go. Okay. Let's do this really quick to end the night with. All right, so we have glossary elements now. Well, that's good. The issue that I was running into is that it has issues grabbing this page, because it technically doesn't exist. So if we grab this page now, there we go. We can now slot in the front page. Nice. We're gonna just slot this in for heck's sake, and we need a basic element for a we'll do that. We'll just do a basic view. It's gonna screw up though, isn't it? Okay. Hold up. We'll do this. We'll do coloring book page. Background for sure. Left or right pages for sure. We don't need the glossary though. We need a color book menu. No. Do we not have a coloring book page? We don't have an object page. All right, let's create one really quick. coloring object page. And also, I tend to work really messy. Folder structure. What's that, man? I don't know. Coloring book page. All right, cool. So to also kind of explain what I was doing for all of this stuff here is inheritance. So because I have a coloring book page, this has the main things that almost every page should have, right? But then I can branch off into things like the coloring object page, which would be the actual legit object that you see to color on and stuff like that. I shouldn't say color on. You're gonna be uploading textures to see a glassor to the object. But the glossary front page, again, references from that, so that this way here, you can do things like load page, initialize it, all that good stuff, and get some base data class set up. For the glossary page here, it's running through this guy here, which is overriding it. So it's grabbing from this script, this method, doing this thing. But so that's what the space here is for. It's running through those lines of codes, and then it's doing its own thing above that. So when I go to call coloring book page initialize page, it's going to run up its structure, which is this guy here. See that this is an override method, and then run this one instead. So I reference this, so I have one reference for all pages, but I have overrides to what those things do in the parents, which is really good, because the object page, not going to be like glossary page, but it is going to have the same functionality as the coloring book page. That said, I apparently had a worker error. Oh no, that's funny. I was actually able to get Pokemon Fire Red. Nice. That's a game I really want to get. Emerald Green, actually. I don't know if I would like Fire Red or Emerald Green, though. But I've been kind of wanting to have one. Feature suggestion. A toggle for coloring within lines. Ooh. That would be kind of neat. So just to make sure I'm pretty clear, I'm not doing any art programming stuff in here. It's primarily going to be you can download and print out sheets to color on, and then you can upload it. I would love to branch out and maybe do some like pseudo interactive coloring things. The idea would be then you could take these guys, make your own materials, and then you can literally paint akin to like what's that one game with the Power Washer Simulator? Your textures onto things in the game world. That would be like the final end all be all dream. That would be really cool. Or you could use preset materials and stuff like that. I could see a lot of people having fun with that, and doing some really naughty things with that. But yeah, so it's not necessarily going to be like a paint program or something like that. It's just way out of my league for that one. Unless if I can find something. If I can find something, then I'll definitely throw it in. But I think the issue with it then comes down to there's so many various art programs. Why would I force you to use a downed art program to do it with? That's the only problem I come by. Like, Krita is free, you've got GIMP, which is also free. Clip Studios is pretty cheap and is phenomenal at what it does. And there's just so many cool things you can do with layers that I would love to incorporate in with this, but yeah. I will, however, definitely give the tools to do various maps. So my idea is essentially you would do the color map, which is like basic coloring. From there, it will help you create the spec map, which is like the shiny map, so how reflective it is. And then from there, it'll give you the ability to do a normal map, which will refine that spec map into a bump map, so you can get like some texture and stuff like that from it. And then you can also run your own AO from the color map as well too. So I do want to do that. That is definitely really easy to do for the most part. So it's not going to be like 100% you have to create everything. It's just primarily you create and color in the object, and then from there you can see it in 3D in all of its glory. Which is weird to say, but all 3D objects are essentially spread out UV shapes, which is like a 2D map essentially. So I UV it out for the artists to work with, and they're able to just color within the lines and see it in 3D, which is pretty cool. I do like that. As far as how you get pictures in though, I've been trying to see about maybe having the ability to like snap a picture on your phone to do it, as well as doing other things like scanning it in and stuff like that. Right now though, the digital side at least is pretty much complete. I'm able to grab a file from my desktop from anywhere, shove it into the engine, have it loaded up, and then also save that for when I close out the engine and load it back in after I load it back up, which is pretty nice. Back to what I was doing really quickly though, coloring book objects page. We're gonna create a quick image text just to be safe. That we're gonna throw this over as a prefab, and then we're gonna grab the coloring book. We're gonna throw the coloring book page over into here. There we go. That did take, yeah, okay. Now it should work. There's one data element, so it should be one data element. The scene name is null though. There is no scene name. Actually, no, there is a scene name. I lied. No, still upset about glossary element. The title is missing on it. What? Oh, that would probably do it. Why is it missing? When did we not? Apparently we did not. Okay, let me item image. Ooh, this needs to be a button. Okay. All right. Button time. Boop. We'll throw that in there. And then we'll throw it in here for the icon. This needs to go to the size of the icon. The icon is good. And then this guy needs to be none that, like so. Why are you outside of it? What? What? Where is it? Where is this? Oh, it is actually out there. Okay, okay. Hold up. So 150. This guy needs to be like 150. Ta-da. Okay, okay. We still need to add a mask to it. Okay. That should work. Oh no. What have we done? Circle. Be better, please. Don't be like this, man. Don't be so low res. You can do it. I believe in you. I believe in you. We can't go larger. Okay, okay, that should be good. Why is that so wonk? It's my next question. We no longer need this though. We just need this guy. It is maskable. Why is this so screwed though? Because it's still under that. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, we got the button. We got the title. We got the description. We got the date. All right, and then we're just gonna overwrite everything. Oh, that's so bad. That is so bad. Why? What? Where is that one? Is that in this? Yeah. Where's that one coming from? Oh, that one? Yeah. Wait, and there we go. Do these have it? Yeah. Oh no. All right, revert. No more? No more. Okay. 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 We should be no more nulls? Do find it or create an image, upload it into the program? No, so sort of actually. So essentially you would find or create an image, upload it to the program, so just load it off of it, and then it'll show up on the 3D model. So you'll have pre-made 3D models to then cover in your 2D art. Ooh, why is this still broken? What made you upsetty spaghettis? That's a good question. Okay. Interesting. Comic book page clone. You know, actually I can see why you got upsetty spaghettis, because it's off in the middle of nowhere. Did it actually... It did not for the right page. Okay. Why did it not after the first two is my question. But to essentially showcase what I kind of mean here, with my old UI and stuff like that, grabbing a file off, I was able to essentially replace it for the material. So what it will technically do is, say for example, you grab a file, we will go with, let's say, this guy, which is gross, and then have it show up on the actual model. It's not gonna look great because it is kind of like that, and this is definitely a base test model with some like apples and stuff like that. But it at least gets over the point a little bit of like you can plaster textures and stuff like that on there and whatnot. Scenes will be set up with lighting and stuff like that, so you don't really have to worry about that too much. They'll look really nice, and I think the hand-based texture style and doing the images yourself should be pretty fun for the most part. They'll give you that wow factor at least at the end when you actually get to see everything on the model laid out and working. Should be pretty neat. I wish I hadn't have destroyed everything, but I think I did. So I can't really show any of the file loads and stuff like that because we kind of just took out that screen for this screen here. Sadly, we didn't quite get to it, but that'll be for next time, is this screen where everything loads from, which will be pretty neat. Much better than the basic section. I still want to know why this got shoved over so badly though. Oh, it was the text. Wait, why would the text do that? Interesting. I don't know. That's... the whole thing got like shifted over. And it definitely didn't run through everything like it was supposed to either. So set up glossary page. Glossary elements set to false if index is less than, greater than, or equal to data set length. Oh, I'm freaking dumb. I keep thinking return will just continue the loop. No. Return stops. Return is hard crash, I am out. Goodbye, see you later. Continue is like, okay, now just restart the scope that you're in. Let's go. Let's roll. Next one. And wait, yeah, it's coming soon. I think honestly by the end of next month it should be testable to a good degree. And so here's the other thing, right? Oh, come on. Test your code out early, kiddos. Why is this wrong? It needs to be greater than. But it still didn't even. Why? What? Oh, because we reverted. That's funny. Oh, hey! Nice. Silda Oot randomized got to 10k. I did not. Thank you. So the issue is I'm working with two screens, and I have chat squished all the way off to the side. So sometimes it's a little difficult to see. Let me refresh this list so that we can at least see the fruits of our labor work. But there is a lot that we can kind of take this and work with. And that's kind of the cool part, I would say, at least. Why is there two ones? Okay, I need to switch that around. But I have a rotational camera, so an orbit around where you can rotate and see the scene from multiple angles. You've got a flyby cam, and you also have a third-person cam. So it all lends itself into actually being like a power wash simulator type deal. And if that's the case, we could do a lot of fun stuff. Okay. Now it's just wanting to make fun of me. It's gonna be equals to. I did have it right. The issue was that it got corrupted and removed the datasets from the array for me. I just want to see a clean page. Let me see a clean page, Unity. We got one more try. I'm pretty sure we got it right though. Oh, it is that far to the side by default. Interesting. We'll have to switch that around. Oh, here we go. Let's go. We got it. One entry. Don't worry about that. That is non-existent, but we got one entry. That's sweet. The object page could be dense. Why though is it like that? Yeah, it's not running appropriately. It's stretching it out. Why? There's nothing telling it to stretch out. And it's upper left, upper center, middle left. Oh, no. This guy should be up. Oh, that's why. It still kind of helps, but kind of doesn't at the same time. At least that fixes the off skew. Not quite sure what's going on with that though. The issue is it should be tiling it down appropriately, but it is not. I'll need to take a look into it, see what's going on there, because it should not be jumping like that. But yeah, minor issues. well, that'll have to be it for tonight, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching Hangout. I greatly appreciate it. I will be back Friday with more Final Fantasy. It'll be a lot of fun, and I might do another Sunday stream of some programming, so keep a lookout on that. We'll be doing some Ocarina of Time when I get back from vacation, so it'll be mid-June, I believe, is when we'll probably start that up. It'll be perfect timing because we'll be done with Final Fantasy 2, so yeah. All right, have a good one, guys. Hope you had fun. Bye.